The first step to becoming a CEO is to start thinking like one. In this episode, I'm sharing the mindset shift that I had to create in order to become a CEO of a growing security company from a small business owner. If you're ready to stop working in your business and start thinking like a CEO, this episode is for you. Welcome to Security Insights with Arvind Dhillon, your bi-weekly deep insights into strategies, leadership, and innovations in the security business. I'm your host, Arvind Dhillon, and in this episode, we will be digging into the mentality shift you need to run your successful business. I'm going to share with you my experience, my mindset, that brought me to this level. When I started, I was a classic busy business person that was the cleaner, the technician, the marketer, the accountant, and I realized that I am exhausted by the end of the day. I had to stop being the person that does all the work and start being the person that leads the team. Now, with the mind shift that I had by learning from the books and by the experience, I'm going to show you the processes we put in place, the new way of doing business, and how to grow the small business into a corporation. With that said, let's get started.
Hello everyone, this is Tuğçe. We are here today with Arvind again. I'm navigating Think Like CEO episode. Arvind, let's get in right away. So you talk about this shift, this mind shift set from technician to CEO before. And there was one of your mistakes that you repeatedly say about you did not think like CEO. But there must be a specific moment, a breaking point that where you realize something had to change. Do you have a story, that kind of a break point?
I think the breaking point was where after a 12-hour workday in the field, me and Jazz will come home and work from our home office, do accounting, invoicing, reconciliation, and then the phone will ring. So at that time, we're just in the middle of doing accounting. You couldn't pick up the phone, and then if you picked up the phone, then all the accounting, you had to go backwards and work on the numbers again. We would go back and forth, doing the same calculations again and again. So at that moment, I realized that something has to change, and that's when I started looking at how else we can grow the business. And I think that kind of little bit shifted the mindset, not fully, but it shifted a little bit of a mindset into growing and start thinking more like a leader.
Let's do a little comparison. Go back to those early years. What did an average day look like then and versus now as a CEO?
As a small business owner, the days were 12 to 14 hours long, and I was putting out the fires all day long. And now, as a CEO, there's more possibilities to grow the business. Everything is planned. The processes are in place. The days are still 12 to 14 hours, but there's a different energy in the day. Early days, I would get up at 5 o'clock, try to figure out the schedule for the day, what supplies we need, order them by 8 o'clock, and then go pick them up. Then at the same time, between 8 and 10 a.m., all the customers will call you. So you can't answer everybody's phone call, then you're back and forth, playing a back and forth. So you call the customer didn't answer, then they call you back, you didn't answer it because you were talking to another customer, so you spend 2 hours wasting time in between that. So it's a full of chaos, right? Every customer wants you on their job site by 9 o'clock, but you're still trying to make a schedule at this point. Nowadays, everything's planned out day in advance, and if the customer needs to get a hold of someone, they call the office line. They talk to the scheduling department. If they need to talk about accounting, they call the accounting department. So it's a much smoother transition now.
And you're not involved in that any of the process. The system works itself. Yes. And what are you doing in the meantime?
Setting up the system was the hardest part, and we keep fine tuning them every so often still. I think it's a work in progress. So, in the meantime, I'm usually taking the meetings from 9 o'clock to about 12 o'clock. Before the lunchtime, that's when all my meetings are done. And then after the lunch hour, then usually I'm out in the field, whether that's visiting the suppliers or anybody visiting our offices, or I try not to take any afternoon meetings. So that is usually the day. And by 5 o'clock, the day is done. Most of the employees are gone home. And then I do a light reading. So whether that's the new trends I'm reading up on, or getting ready for the meeting the next day, all sorts of stuff, checking the email. That's the other big one, that we get tons of emails that you can't keep up with. Now the days are still long, but in a much more process way.
You actually work on growing the business as well as working on yourself as a manager, as a CEO.
Yes, as a leader, you have to keep not only keep up with the norms, also keep looking 6 months, a year, 3 years in advance. So any problems that you think were going to happen yesterday, you're already aware of them and you have already worked on it.
So you specifically said that you don't take meetings in the afternoon. What's the specific reason for that?
I started doing this early meetings early on because my brain is fresh. I can make the decisions much faster and less mistakes during my decisions. When sometimes you make the decisions later on in the day, you're thinking about some other problems. Your brain's not working at its peak level. That's one. Second is, I find whenever you schedule a meeting in the afternoon, there's more chances people will cancel on you, or you have to cancel on people. So there's always that chance. So in order to save the time and give everybody rest, I like to schedule all my meetings in the morning.
So, what are the big differences, the real practical differences between a small business owner and a being CEO?
Owner focuses on tasks, CEO sets up the processes, owner puts out the fires, and the CEO prevents the fires from happening tomorrow. Owner is indispensable. CEO builds a team that can run without them. So when you're a small business owner, uh, you like to do everything yourself, or you give individual tasks to people but you don't hold them accountable. With the CEO mindset, you put a systems in place, and then someone is in charge of those tasks, uh, and they're accountable of that. So people have the clear directions of what task they're in charge of, what are they going to be held accountable for. As otherwise, the if as a owner you approve everything, all the employees or all the departments heads, they're coming to you for approval, then you're holding them back. That's not how you can succeed, because if you are approving everything, you're making 1,000 decisions, then you're becoming a bottleneck in your own business. So you have to empower all the employees, whether they're technician, their accountants, their management, to hold them responsible of their task, their accountability, and put systems in place so everybody's clear on what is expected of them. Just don't do their task. If they make a mistake, let them learn. You can guide them in the process, but do not do the don't do their task on a day-to-day basis, or even on a monthly basis. It's all about empowering all your employees.
Okay, so what are the practical steps? We already listed so many actually, but let's put them together now.
The practical steps that I like to follow is actually block time to think about the future. Plan out your 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 3 years in advance. Um, Surround yourself with people who like to think much bigger than you. Um, stop doing the things that are not a CEO work. If other people in your organization can handle it, let them handle those tasks. Um, if anybody in the company comes with the problem, ask them lots of questions so they understand where you're coming from or how it can be done better.
Was it hard becoming a leader?
Yes, it still is hard because it's very hard to share your vision with everybody and expect everybody is aligned within your vision.
So your challenge was actually sharing your vision and find someone agrees to it?
Not only someone agrees to it, someone that can run with it. Once you set up a vision and it needs to flow through the organization. You can't just have a management that agrees with your vision. You also have to have your accounting, your cleaner, your technician. Everybody has to be on the same boat and pushing it the same way. Otherwise, you're being counterproductive in your organization.
The whole employees we're talking about.
That's right. Yeah. Biggest leadership challenge is to get all your management team to buy into your vision. It's not only the management that has to be part of it. It has to be everyone in your organization, but the management is the core that they have to be able to deliver that message to all the employees in the organization.
Okay, so you succeeded. You set the systems, you replicate the systems, and you scale the business. What's the last point to it? One is the highest scale point for you.
At this point in my mindset is if we can grow this company Canada-wide and into the US, I think we would be happy, but I don't want to limit myself. Then maybe we want to grow into other parts of the world as well.
A little bit of a fun one to the end. We've spoken before about how important reading was to your mind shift change, and you mentioned in the technician to CEO part, I believe, a few things on that. So give us recommendations. What books would you recommend?
There's so many different books, but one that I think truly that I live by still and changed my life is The Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. I have read that book numerous times, and I think now you reminded me, I will read it again. If you have any recommendations that the books I should read, please comment below, and I would love to read up on it. That's a wrap for today's episode, Security Insights with Arvind Dhillon. I hope you found some value in this discussion we had. If you enjoyed this episode, please comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. We would love to join you on our journey. If you have any further insights or what we should talk about next, please send us a DM or send us a message on LinkedIn or on Instagram. Until next time, stay secure, keep your business growing, and catch you in the next episode. Until next time, stay secure, keep your business growing. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Let me tell you about another book I read.
The Bible.